On this episode,
I'll have my days. I'll just break down in tears. Why me?
Mum and model Amy's shock diagnosis.
It's a silent killer.
Andrew's broken heart
You've got a second hole in the heart.
leaves him lost for breath
Take your time.
and lost for words.
Oh, don't get all teary on me.
And actor Justin
Jim Junkie Justin.
makes a dramatic entrance in the ED.
Oh, but I feel much better now.
In the picturesque town of Orange, 3.5 hours drive from Sydney, Amy, a 44-year-old mother and beauty therapist, is dealing with a cancer diagnosis that changes her life forever.
I'll have my days. Like, I'll just break down in tears some days and I'll go, I can see tears coming, why me?
It was a shock discovery while Amy and partner Mark were trying for a second child through IVF.
Like 3 in 1 million are diagnosed with this rare disease and this rare cancer, low-grade cancer, and it starts somehow with a burst appendix. It's usually found during an operation like a cesarean or with the endometriosis. That's how it's discovered. It's a silent killer. No one would ever know. I didn't have any signs. I didn't think anything was wrong. I was just fit and healthy. So, yeah.
For Amy, Mark and little 6-year-old Rose, the diagnosis has put all plans on hold.
I try not to let my mind race off too much into thinking, because just getting my head over the massive operation, which is, could be 8 to 10, 12 hours, and then HIPEC, which is a hot chemotherapy as well. It's going to be huge. But, we all have our path in life and we get stuff thrown at us. And I guess this is just mine, and I have to be strong for my daughter. She gave me just this morning, getting ready for school, such a beautiful cuddle, and she just held on really tight. And I just cherished that moment and trying to hold back the tears because it was just such a beautiful moment.
I can't go really high. Higher!
You can get higher than that.
I think you really do appreciate the gift, I guess, as terrible as it is really appreciating the time that you have with family and friends.
With so much to live for, Amy knows she needs all her strength if she's to beat this. "25-year-old Justin has just arrived in emergency with a dislocated shoulder. And with a little bit of pain relief on board, he's entertaining everybody.
Ow, it hurts. Ow. How was that? Was that good? Was that good? I've done enough film sets to know what's going on, don't worry.
He's an actor, singer and dancer. He's also a return customer.
I've been here before. Where were you last time? A few years back, just getting my patella. That was bad. That was bad.
The knee is old news. Today his pain is a little higher. He came to grief in the gym while trying to beef up. That's when paramedics Melanie and Emma rushed him straight to emergency.
So I was working out at the gym and doing some shoulder presses, and then kaboom! And it just, oh wow, talk about a rush of pain. I'm an idiot, I know. Look at me, Jim Junkie Justin. Gosh, can't help it. You're right.
With the first act drawing to a close,
I'm not on my deathbed, so I've got to have a laugh about it, right? So I'm not on my deathbed, right? There we go. Quote. You've quoted it now. You got it on record.
the all-important second act commences.
My name's Chris. I'm the ED registrar. I've got Sandeep, who's one of the consultants here.
Take slow, nice, deep breaths. So Justin's presented with what we call an anterior shoulder dislocation. So his humeral head, or the top of his long bone of his arm, has popped out of its socket.
So how's your pain at the moment?
It's pretty bad.
Pretty bad, yeah. Did the morphine or the green whistle help you much?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. The best thing also to help with the pain is getting it back in.
Yeah.
All right, you just squeeze my hand here.
If the shoulder stays out for a long period of time, it's possibly going to cause more trauma to the soft tissues and also to the bones, which are impacted into each other.
If you're happy, we go ahead, try and get it back in.
See if we can get it back in.
Look, the main thing is it can be a bit uncomfortable, cause a bit of pain. All right.
Massage there and here. And sit up straight, chest out. That's good. Doing well. Can take a little bit of time.
It's okay.
We're using a little bit of massage and also sort of moving his shoulder blade to the centre of his back so it opens up that socket and allows the shoulder to go back in.
Clap your chest
Oh, ow.
Shoulder blade.
All right. Sit up straight.
Oh.
Obviously a very painful injury, so we have to kind of get them as relaxed as possible and then allowing the shoulder to just slip back into place. Nice and straight, shoulder blades together, yeah. If this fails, the next step would be to give him some sedation. Take slow, nice, deep breaths.
Oh.
It's an early morning start for Amy and her family.
All right, here we go, Sydney. Let's go.
After 6 months of planning and assessment, she has arrived at RPA to meet with Dr. Nabila Ansari, the surgeon who will be removing her rare cancer.
It's basically tumour that has come from her appendix with these little cells that make mucus, and they have spread outside the appendix. So there are cells on other organs inside her abdomen that are slowly making mucin and filling up her belly.
And that's the PMP. Better out than in.
I was going to say exactly the same thing.
I've got to try and look on the bright side, right?
The operation that we're talking about, a peritoneectomy operation, which is to remove all of these areas of tumour and to also put some hot chemotherapy into her belly at the time of surgery to try and kill any microscopic cells that we can't see to remove.
56-year-old Andrew didn't have the best start in life.
I had a hole the size of a 10-cent piece in a baby's heart, so that's massive.
Commonly called a blue baby, Andrew's health in his early years was severely compromised.
You can't breathe, you actually turn blue, you physically turn blue, your lips go blue.
Andrew knows he would not be alive without several operations throughout his childhood.
It's almost like, my life started at 9 or 10.
Ever since that new start, he's been fit and well, until recently when his heart problems struck again.
I still noticed that when I was surfing, I'd paddle out, I'd just be just wrecked, and then, I'd catch a wave in and then try to get back out, and half the time I'd just go, this is all too hard, not realising that there was something else wrong.
A series of tests confirmed a second hole in his heart that is growing bigger all the time.
It's very confronting, without meaning to, I think, of the worst case scenarios and, have little nightmares.
A constant presence by his side is partner Rosie, but she knows that she can only do so much to mend his broken heart.
I met Andrew actually online dating, silver dating. He just made me laugh. I call him Crinkles because he's always got wrinkles around his eyes. He's always laughing. So I just want him to be happy and content. That's the main thing, and healthy.
I think everybody is, quietly waiting with bated breath to see what happens.
They won't have much longer to wait. Andrew meets his cardiologist at RPA tomorrow.
How are you feeling?
A little bit anxious.
Anxious is completely normal.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if you weren't a little bit nervous. It all wraps up. I'll give you a phone call, I'll give you a full update of everything that's going on. So I like to be prepared before a big operation. That means having a good night's sleep. It means having a decent breakfast. It means going through everything that's happened with the patient, all of their scans, all of the previous treatments that they've had. And then it's also about, I guess, keeping myself well, both physically and mentally.
Amy is about to undergo an extensive and incredibly complex cancer surgery, which can take 12 hours or more to perform.
We need to understand that we often find more tumour than what we see on scans. So we have to be prepared for what we don't expect, keeping in mind that the best survival comes from being able to remove all of the tumour that's there. You'll see that we actually need to use really long incisions so that we can access and have a look in all quadrants of the abdomen. And as part of this operation, we will take the umbilicus or the belly button And that's because this can be an area where tumour can come back later if we haven't removed it as part of surgery. We all run on adrenaline. We're always rushing, we're always thinking. I'm probably the most focused I am during an operation. This is a big nodule of her PMP. This is normal soft fatty tissue, and this is a lump of tumour, which is hard, but it also looks like mucus.
For Amy, the stakes couldn't be higher. Intricate surgery like this requires a crack team of specialists to work alongside Dr. Ansari, providing an extra layer of support.
We have 2 consultant surgeons at all of these operations. And together, the decision-making at the time of surgery, especially when you encounter difficulties that we're not sure on how to manage, is done by 2 fresh brains. And it also means that it allows for people to have a break and a rest, because when you don't have those things, that's when you start to lose your concentration.
There is actually disease on the surface of the liver.
Tiny cancer spots that must be removed.
So we're just about to get a good burn and therefore getting rid of the disease.
So far, there have been no unwanted surprises, but Dr. Ansari and her team aren't finished yet.
All right. Well, listen, how have you been in the last couple of months since I last saw you?
Not too bad. Sort of anticipating this. Very pleased that it's happening sooner than later.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. I just want to recap on your story. You had this operation on your heart when you were just 7 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Then because you felt so good for about 30 years, you didn't actually see a specialist for a long time.
Correct, yeah. Just got on with life, really. Yeah.
Not a bad plan.
Not a bad plan.
When someone comes to see you because they're vulnerable and they're entrusting a really tough decision about their future to you, whom they only know as a professional, it's a lot of responsibility, but it's an incredible privilege as well.
All right. Well, listen, what I'd love to do is pop you on a treadmill and see how you feel going faster and faster, and work out how low the oxygen levels get in your blood, remembering that most people will feel breathless when it's below about 94 or 93%. So someone like Andrew, where the blue blood goes through the hole rather than through the lungs, he's not getting enough oxygen when he exercises, and that's what makes him feel the air hunger and the breathlessness that he's been complaining about. Your baseline saturation is around 94, 95.
Right.
Which is a fraction less than normal, but not too bad.
Saturation is the percentage of oxygen in the blood.
Interestingly, at this relatively gentle exercise level, Andrew, your saturation is already down to 90%.
Right.
Do you feel game to go up a little bit faster?
Yeah.
Okie doke. Probably only for about a minute or so.
Sure.
Let's go one more level. Okay, so your oxygen's fallen below 90. What we did there is we stressed the system a bit.
Yeah.
Your heart rate response was normal.
Right.
Your blood pressure response was normal. But what was very abnormal was that the amount of oxygen in your blood went down to 87%. Now we know that's the reason why you've been breathless, and it sort of supports
Absolutely.
our thought that closing this hole will improve the breathlessness by preventing that drop in oxygen during exercise.
I'm kind of, sick and tired of feeling like I'm working endlessly to try to feel like I'm fit, but the reason I'm not fit is because of this hole. You can, sorry.
No, take your time.
Sorry.
Well, it's been a tough battle.
After 7 intense hours, Dr. Ansari and her team are now confident they've removed all of the cancerous tumours in Amy's abdomen.
So this is our whole specimen. There's also quite a lot of tumour on the surface of the uterus as well as on the peritoneum over the bladder. I guess the main thing that we do worry about is major complications. We try very hard to both do research and clinical practice on trying to to try and avoid major complications.
With her partner Mark waiting outside considering all possible outcomes.
What happens if it doesn't work and the surgery is unsuccessful, or, you know, there's always that thought in your head.
The next phase of the operation, the chemotherapy, commences.
We have created an open coliseum, and what that does is that it holds up the skin and it allows us to then infuse the hot chemotherapy liquid into the peritoneal cavity, bathing all of the surfaces in this high pick.
The hot chemotherapy is used to kill off any remaining cells not visible by eye.
I'm about to start powering the pump. We've also started the counter for 60 minutes. The Xray system also allows a much higher concentration of chemotherapy to be delivered into the peritoneal cavity, which is obviously where the problem actually is.
Obviously, the doctors are busy, but, you know, when you're sitting there waiting for a phone call, like, time goes really slowly.
We're finished in 7 hours of operating, or we will be soon. Everything that looked like tumour is now in a bucket for the pathologist to look at.
Whilst the surgery has been a success, Amy still has some dangerous days ahead in the ICU.
So your oxygen's fallen below 90?
It's really frustrating, to be honest with you. You know, you can, sorry.
No, take your time.
It was a struggle, but with the physical side now done, it's back to Dr. Salamai's office to hear how he's going to fix it.
When you exercise, some of the blue blood without enough oxygen goes across this hole and out to your body. And instead of your blood having 100% oxygen, it's only got 90% oxygen, which makes you feel crook.
Geez, aren't I lucky?
Yeah, Mr. Lucky. Anyway, this is something that we can fix now without having to do open heart surgery.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
I will, if it's all right with you, tell you a little bit about the possible complications.
Yeah.
Not every hole has the same shape. And we've got a few device sizes and shapes, but sometimes the size of the device and the size of the hole don't match up.
Right.
And we can't do it. And there's a chance that we put the device in and sometime in the first 24 hours it dislodges.
Right.
And then we'd have to operate to get it out and sew up the hole.
Okay.
Doing an interventional procedure is a really cool thing to be able to do. The technical advances in cardiology have been mind-blowing.
The plug I've got to illustrate is much bigger than the one we're going to use, but it'll give you an idea of what it is. It's got these two discs, and one sits on one side of the hole, and the other sits on the other side of the hole. So I'll put it across the hole, and then I'll let go the left side.
Yep.
And then I'll bring it back through the hole, and I'll let go the right side, and it'll grab the hole and shut it that way.
Wow, that's incredible. And what's the lifespan of these things?
It's longer than you or me.
Good. Sounds fantastic. It's great that it can be done so simply.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Because, yeah, well, that's right. Originally, I was told it was going to be open heart again. I was not looking forward to that.
Ow. All right.
Sit up straight.
Ow.
Heading.
Yeah.
In situations such as this, there's no script for Justin to follow.
Almost there, actually. You're doing great.
Straight.
Nice and straight, shoulder blades together, yeah.
He must be prepared for anything.
Oh, lovely. All right, it's all done. Have a bit of a break. Shouldn't be painful anymore. We'll get your arm in a sling and we'll get a X-ray to make sure there's no...
Holy shit, how the did you guys do that?
And he's back.
Oh. You did really well. You relaxed all your muscles and then now it slides in quite easily after that.
So keep your arm like that. We'll get it immobilised for you for your shoulder.
Great. Oh, thank you, doctors. I appreciate it. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. They hurt a lot. Oh, don't go to the gym. It's bad for you. Oh, wow.
With the hard work behind him, Justin knows the show must go on.
Melanie and Emma, they took care of me. Oh, but I feel much better now after some morphine.
Before Justin receives the final all clear, he's sent for an X-ray to assess the extent of damage at the injury site.
So this is obviously Justin's X-ray of his shoulder. We also just want to check that it's properly located. I mean, it looks pretty well located, and this view is nice to see that. And see basically his arm is sitting in the cup there. I mean, that's a good outcome, really. No fractures. He'll just need to wear this thing for a while and get the strength back in his shoulder.
Fantastic.
So no gym for a little bit.
Justin, your taxi's here.
Awesome.
I know.
Let's do it.
You just stand up.
You know, it's funny, I work in customer service, and I push people in wheelchairs around all the time. So it's weird to be actually the one sitting in one. Not gonna lie.
I would feel the same.
Oh,
All right, you got everything?
I do. Thank you so
All
much.
right, you're welcome, Justin.
Cheers.
Look after yourself.
Thank you.
Bye.
Justin's visit has certainly brightened up the ED. But before he gets back on stage, he'll need 2 weeks in a sling and a follow-up visit to his own GP. And he may want to put that gym membership on hold.
Hey, you ready for this, hon?
Yes, Jing.
Yes, please.
Lovely.
G'day. Good morning.
Dr. Solomon.
How are you?
How are you?
Dr. David Sellermeyer will be carrying out the procedure.
All right, so look, we're going to be able to kick off early today in about half an hour.
Yep.
On operating days, I usually meet the people on whom I'm going to do a procedure. They're incredibly exhausting, but very engaging because someone comes to see you with a problem. You have to be fully switched on, put yourself in their position, try and understand what their cares or concerns are and respond appropriately. All right, well, listen, next time you see me, I'll be in the scrubs, and we should be taking you through within half an hour.
Okay, great.
All right?
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you guys in a bit.
See you in a bit. See you, man.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah. Bye, baby.
All right, you're going to be
See you,
good.
honey. Love you.
Good. Love you too.
Bye, babe.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Amy. Good morning. How are you feeling today?
Not bad. A lot better than yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday, day one, is
Yeah.
feeling like you've been hit by a truck.
Yes.
And you have good days and you have bad days, but overall, you should be doing this.
Great.
The priority now is for her to recover from surgery and be one of those patients, which is the majority of our patients that don't have a major complication while she's in hospital.
But the next day, that's exactly what happens. Although Dr. Ansari successfully removed all the cancer, one of the potential complications she warned of, an aggressive infection, ravages Amy.
Despite all of our best efforts, there are a group of patients who will have something major or something minor that we define as a complication.
You okay? Everything was progressing really well, like pretty much textbook. It's like doing a 100-metre race and then they say halfway through the race when you're winning that it's going to be a 400-metre race. It's pretty hard to then keep going for the extra distance and because you're not prepared for it.
Some of these patients are, as you know, just the next step for them is death. And we work intensely to bring them back from that step to get them out of the hospital and well.
As an intensive care specialist, Dr. Matt Morgan sees people at their absolute lowest.
I think Amy's had a number of critical points in her treatment, and I think this one where she's had a nasty infection, it set her back, and we have to see how much that's going to affect her body systems over the coming days.
It's Dr. Morgan's job to notice any signs of progress, no matter how small.
Just takes some steps forward, that she becomes less reliant on us medically doing stuff for her and can start to do more stuff for herself.
And it's only when that strength returns to Amy will she be well enough to be reunited with Rose.
Rose is missing her mum. She's old enough to know that something's not right, but she's sort of not old enough to say, you know, she's in intensive care and this is happening. My optimistic side of my head's telling me that hopefully everything will heal simultaneously.
So as Mark continues to hope,
she might miraculously just jump out of bed in a few days and start the physio and, you know, she'll be back home with Rose before we know it.
Amy continues to fight. 56-year-old Andrew is hoping that today's operation will once and for all fix the lifelong problems he's had with holes in his heart. The cardiology team is led by Dr. Sellermeyer.
So that is the right blood vessel. The heart is fascinating. It's got that lovely emotional resonance. It's where love lives. But in a more physiological sense, it's an extraordinary organ. It just beats and beats and beats without us having to think about it. But if it goes wrong for even 30 seconds, it's a disaster. It's really important to look after people's hearts. So that wire's gone up the correct vein. It's travelling up the femoral vein, and that vein drains blood from the leg up to the heart. So we've now got a tube that's threaded up from the top of the leg up the abdomen and the chest into the heart.
So this is the collecting chamber, the right atrium of the heart, and this is the left atrium. And in Andrew's case, there's a flap valve coming across, letting blue blood go from the right to the left side across this little tunnel here. So we're going to come across this now with a wire and a device and try and pull that closed.
Even when the situation is absolutely critical, a calm outward demeanour just lets the team get on and do their jobs without the overlay of anxiety or panic.
And it's looking really good.
The device is now deployed. It seems remarkable that you can put in a 25mm device, you know, like a 50-cent piece, through a 3mm tube, but that's the miracle of the technological development that allowed that device. So in the olden days, if we wanted to do that, he would have had open heart surgery, and it's just so terrific to be able to offer a solution that is so apparently simple. Now, the proof is going to be getting him to exercise and see how he feels afterwards. But the indication is we've definitely sealed up that hole that was allowing the blue blood to go the wrong way. And so that's great news.
Things have gone so well that barring any unexpected complications, in a few hours, Andrew could be on his way home. After successful cancer surgery, Amy suffered a terrible post-operative infection. Now, she's finally on the mend.
I'm seeing Mummy.
Yeah, you're going to see Mummy.
Having pulled through a difficult time in intensive care, Amy is now well enough to be reunited with little Rose.
It's going to be a slow recovery, just given how much surgery and things needed to be done to get her healthy. Hello, how you going?
Good to see you.
You too. How you going? You tired?
Yeah.
She's had great care in there from all the doctors and nurses and things, and it's nice that she's on the mend, and she's starting to do physio and get up out of her bed and, you know, get pushed around in the wheelchair, come outside.
I can see, Mum.
It's been really hard for Rose. It's probably been harder for Rose than anyone else. She's just sitting there with her face on the glass waiting for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's very excited.
Mum! Yes, she is!
She hasn't been able to see Amy at all, and it's very hard to explain why. I imagine in her eyes or her mind, she might feel like she's been abandoned.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you. Hey.
It's not something you'd want to repeat, but I think it's made us more connected, definitely. You know, when the chips were down, you know, they always say, you know, till death do us part, and sickness and health, all that sort of stuff. You know, this was the sickness, and we got through it as a family.
Do you feel a bit better?
Little improvements. Sometimes you have a good day, and then some days are better than other days. You have your good days and your bad days.
I heard you were sad because you missed me.
Yes, of course.
I missed you as well.
Yeah.
I just wish you could come home.
No.
Please.
No. It's nice. Mummy loves you. You've been very strong.
When can you come home?
When I'm better.
Days like today, a week ago, seemed like miles away. So it makes us feel like we're We're sort of progressing in the right direction. You know, hopefully there'll be much better times ahead.
Well, did you make a wish?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to tell anyone what the wish is, though.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's 3 hours since Andrew checked in for life-changing heart surgery. Remarkably, he's already in recovery and partner Rosie can't wait to see him.
Oh, honey, how are you?
Hi.
Hello. That was very quick.
Feel very out of it.
Feel very out of it.
Throat's very dry. My throat's pretty sore.
Is there? Everything went really well.
Oh, I don't remember anything. I just remember being moved to one bed to another. And then they were going, you're awake. I'm like, what? No.
It's all done.
She gave me some water.
Some water.
And she got some chocolate tea.
It's pretty weird kissing with a mask, isn't it? Everything's good now, honey.
It's just a relief.
Yeah. And you wake up and you're all fixed.
G'day.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm all right. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better than the last time I saw you.
Still a bit groggy?
I'm getting better.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, we finished about 4 hours ago.
Right, okay.
And now I just want to see if this device is where it should be.
Yes.
All right, so let me turn this so you can see.
Yeah.
So this looks fabulous.
Right.
So that disc is on the left side.
Yep.
That disc is on the right side.
Right.
And what we're going to try and show now is that there's no blood flowing across it.
Yeah.
So it's in a beautiful spot. That's not going to go anywhere. A great life is one where you've had the chance to contribute and work with stimulating people with the ultimate aim of letting everyone you look after, and even people you'll never look after, live the best lives they probably can. There are none of the rare complications that we see. So, Bob's your uncle.
Fantastic.
Very happy with that.
Very good.
Does that all make
Beautiful.
sense?
Does. And it's amazing to be able to
beautiful.
see it. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Oh, don't get all teary on me. No. It's a big relief, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
So thankful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, all right.
Such a relief.
Yeah, cool.
Oh. Oh, Jesus. What a relief. Oh. I guess part of what I feel is I wish it was that easy when I was a kid. Wow, how good's that?
It was a whirlwind visit,
Yep, time to go home already.
but their one day at RPA has given Andrew and Rosie a whole future to look forward to together. After suffering a post-op infection, 44-year-old Amy is finally on the mend.
My pants are falling down. Everything's falling down. Everything needs a wash. Ready to go home.
It's been a tough road to recovery, and Amy and partner Mark just want to be told they can go home.
That paisley pajama top, that's dirty.
Paisley, that thing.
Yeah. I'm still sore, but day by day, I think that's just the way to take my healing process. So hopefully I go home tomorrow if everything looks good. I've lost a lot of weight during surgery. I think they said to me I'm anemic. I've got to go on an iron infusion now. So it's just those little adjustments to be my full self and my wounds, obviously, to recover from a big operation.
Hopefully tomorrow's the start of the rest of the life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting home,
Yeah.
taking Rose to school, all the fun stuff. Give you something to look forward to.
Yeah. Thanks again for all your help.
Thank you. See you. Take care.
A new day brings the news they are hoping for. Amy is finally heading home.
It'll be great to go home, just to be at home in my own environment, seeing my friends and my family, my little girl. One thing I've learned throughout my journey in hospital is I can't control everything. It's just what will be, will be. Just having that outlook of one day at a time, putting my best foot forward.
You take care. All the best.
Thank you.